Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Ultra Fusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Charlie, cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
A little bit of condensation.
Sorry, no straw for me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right into. Well, actually, let me first preface this. I am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zealeus.
What's up, Mr. Charlie of the Bad Wolf?
We are both wearing shirts that have something to do with the Doctor.
It is an amazing day to be alive in Whoville.
No, Whoville is not the same as the Doctor. By the way, if anyone's watching this...
You know, I meant, see, our shirts are mashing up different, cultures.
I
I was going to do the same thing.
I know. But anyone who's actually keeping up with this season of the Doctor, what? Or if y'all are starting to watch The Class, which of course is the new spinoff of the Doctor, what?
Well, my problem is ever since it went off Netflix, I've kind of fallen off the whole Doctor train just because I don't... I need to drop cable because I don't actually watch it. So it's kind of like, just do that and like subscribe to like the BBC One service, basically, is what I need to do. I'll get on it, I promise.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we do this every single... Actually, I do this every single show, and that, of course, is Charlie Does the Do. And just to, stave off any questions, no, Mountain Dew has still yet, or PepsiCo has still yet to recognize that I'm wasting my precious, beautiful, Adonis-like body to drink their amazing elixir.
You keep telling yourself that. Your elixir, yes.
Yes, the elixir.
Your elixir of diabetes.
That's why I'm drinking diet. Which is actually much worse for you than the regular stuff, because that fake sugar actually makes your body crave real sugar, and so you're more prone to actually eat sugar and completely jack yourself up.
So here's the question. Do you eat real sugar to compensate for the lack of sugar? Ooh.
Jelly beans!
Why are the jelly beans not open?
Because I know that you're going to make a lot of crinkling noises during the show.
Well, now that you've told me they're here, I'm just going to take a little and then I'm done. How's that?
Okay. I'm taking the bag away from you.
Okay. I'm just taking a few and then I'm done.
Okay.
Okay. I'm done.
That doesn't mean the whole bag.
I'm done. There.
All right.
I got my fill.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us get right into it. And that, of course, the first topic, of course, is the big topic, is MomoCon happens next week.
Yeah, MomoCon.
So, what is MomoCon? MomoCon, once upon a time, was an anime-centric convention, and actually started at Georgia Tech. And now it has blossomed into this amazing convention that is, it's become more and more general fandom. There's going to be independent video game developers there. There's going to be voice actors there. There's going to be artists there for anime, comics, all that stuff. Of course, we'll be there. And of course, I believe, is Craig doing MomoCon this year?
I didn't think Craig was.
I know Whack Kid's going to be there because Whack Kid's trying to give us a sweet deal about next Thursday, which I can't really reveal to you, but if we could pull it off, it'll be phenomenally amazing and mind-blowingly amazing, and anything else that you could think of amazing.
That's crazy, man.
It's crazy. It's so crazy. It's amazing.
I'm confused. Just how crazy is it?
So crazy.
Whoa!
Anyways, so Craig won't be there, so we'll have to pick up the slack for Craig. But anyways,
I don't know if any one or two people can do such a thing.
I can't.
I'm just saying.
Right.
Not possible.
We'll bring the Merz and Acquisitions book and tell everyone that this is a game that they missed out on because they didn't go to MomoCon last year, and so they need to make up for it by buying a book so they can play it with their friends. Okay. Anyways, okay, so MomoCon phenomenal convention starts on this a week from today. Goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We will have a panel on Friday night. And then we'll have a fan table the rest of the time. I will, myself, Charlie, will be on and off the fan table. It depends on, I'm press, so I'm going to be doing a lot of interviews. So you'll probably see Zealeus or Jesse working the table. And of course, me from time to time. I'm going to try to be there as much as possible, but that's my main goal, is to interview people.
Charlie has more important things to do than meddle with us plebs sitting at the table.
That's not right.
That's
not
true.
Anyways, so MomoCon, phenomenal. It's in Atlanta. It's at the Georgia World Congress Center. There's still a chance to buy tickets. So, and of course, just at the bare minimum, there's a tons of amazing panels. There's contests. There's, after after hours karaoke. There, I mean, basically, so we are working with Whack Kid to live stream our panel on Friday night.
What time is that at?
I want to say 7:30 or 8:30.
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up. I'm sorry, my brain. I keep wanting to look that up. So anyways, we're gonna try to work out a deal with Whack Kid to stream it. Oh, by the way, before I get too far, I know that, and I want to thank Sam Grizzle for donating to Alter Confusion last week. After he asked the question of who the hell is attached to the PayPal account, I have rectified that. It is now pointed to an Alter Confusion Gmail account, so that's locked in there.
Thank you, Mr. Sam.
All right. So anyways, MomoCon, phenomenal, amazing. Be there. You got to. If you not, then there's something wrong with you.
It's 8:30.
8:30. There you go.
That's what I'm looking for. Yep.
All right. Let's move on to the next one.
We're not just going to talk about MomoCon for an hour.
We could, but we've got some other topics we'd like to talk about. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let us start off with this. VR MMOs. How far off are they? Zealeus?
I want dot hack today, man. I think we're still a ways off. And here's why. Let me put it this way. How about a mainstream VR MMO? Because I can see something like, say, Half-Life becoming Second Life becoming an MMO, because it's almost like, it just needs that VR helmet, and it's already kind of got that immersive world, but it's not really, it has like a very particular niche, like over here. It's not really the most popular. I mean, you ask our parents, they've probably heard of World of Warcraft, I've never heard of Second Life. So I think a couple of things. One is, if you look at MMOs, they've basically been following the World of Warcraft mode for years. They do little things like here and there, how they change the instances, how they change how you do classes and stuff, but they're still, at its core, they're just like World of Warcraft. And really, until you have some, I think basically one of the bigger MMOs, like a Final Fantasy or a World of Warcraft or even EverQuest, go out and make that MMO RPG with VR, I just don't see it becoming a big thing. You might have a company here and there who possibly tries. And I think the other big issue you're going to see is, some of the places where you see some of this VR going on is you do see some indie devs that are trying to do the VR stuff. And, add their unique flavor to that game that you're not going to necessarily see from AAA publishers who aren't willing to go down that path. But the problem is, you really don't see indie MMOs.
That's way too big of a project to take on.
Exactly. So MMOs, like Charlie put it, they're very big projects in themselves. I mean, you got huge open worlds, lots of things going on, lots of land, lots of assets, and now you're asking them to also add on this VR, which is still an unproven technology today. So you're adding to basically add two very complex things together and mash them together. That's asking a lot. So I think in a way, a VR MMO is like perfect because you can really become immersed in the world. And that's like myself included. That's why I became so enveloped in the MMO world, is because it's like its own culture and just like this thing you become very wrapped up in. And that's kind of the whole idea of VR is you get, enveloped in that world in a different way, because now you have, obviously your graphics surrounding you in every which way. But from a technological standpoint, I think that's the really hard part, is what of these bigger MMO companies is going to be willing to try out the virtual reality world? I mean, look at Square Enix. What are they doing with virtual reality? Not a whole lot. What is Blizzard doing with VR? Not a whole lot. I mean, hell, you might actually see from a Korean MMO maker first, more so than the Americans. I mean, you got all these cookie-cutter MMOs that are almost identical coming out of Korea. Or China, that are all very similar. Maybe that's what you see at first. But I think you'll see different, I just don't see a MMO RPG becoming a big deal sooner rather than later. It's asking a lot of a developer.
Okay, so the reason why I asked this question, because I already know the answer.
Because I'm wrong.
Microsoft is currently trying to build a VR MMO team.
Sweet.
Okay.
I like to be proven wrong about this.
So here's the job listing. They're looking for a highly experienced senior design manager. Okay, and this is the exact posting.
Hire Mr. Charlie over here.
I don't have the credentials for this. Do you love MMOs? Are you excited about virtual reality?
Yeah.
Would you like every Xbox user to experience your design every time they use it?
Yeah.
We are embarking on a bold charter and need your help. Need you. Oh my God, this is terrible.
Is this the actual job listing?
Help us take the next step. They skipped the
Barely
word.
did a proofreader.
The Xbox mixed reality team is looking for an experienced senior design manager with deep expertise and passion around crafting immersive social systems and experiences. We're looking to build a massively social gaming and entertainment experience for both the PC and the console. Here's an opportunity to join a fun and collaborative team that experiments with the latest toys, works with state-of-art technology, and crafts the future of entertainment. Under the skills section, skills and experience, the company is looking for shipped at least 3 AAA consumer entertainment products and has 7+ years using design tools.
Question, what do you think they consider AAA? Like, what's the line of demarcation for a AAA title, according to Microsoft, do you think?
AAA publisher.
So, like, they have like a list, like if you're Bethesda or EA or
what? Right?
You have to be certain.
If your game was published by EA or Activision or some company, a very recognizable company, be it U.S. or across the pond, then that it could be. Yeah, it's got to be that.
Okay,
that's what it's got to be. So, anyways, so Microsoft is building. Okay, so this title's a little bit misleading. They say VR MMO, but
it doesn't really sound like
what they're really doing is they're doing a
sounds like Second Life.
It's exactly
that's what it sounds
Second Life. Or it's they want more interactivity within your experience with your
so
Xbox.
basically want to be Facebook.
They want
because that's what I thought Facebook is going to be doing
Facebook
with
2.0 before Facebook 2.0.
That's what it really sounds like.
Yeah. Yep.
Which makes sense because that's where the money's at. I mean, let's be realistic.
Yeah. So it's interesting. And this is any project at this point. Anything that Microsoft is going to create is going to be Xbox One and PC because they're absolutely the same at this point. So. This will be an experience that the PC users can have as well as the Xbox users.
Now, here's what'll be interesting to see with this. Okay, so you have the Xbox, which presumably at some point will have the HoloLens. And then you got the PC. So will the HoloLens work on the PC, or is that going to have to be the Rift or the... what's the other one? I'm having a brain fart. What's the other big one?
The Vive?
Thank you.
The Vive is PC already, but no, the HoloLens will... From my understanding, HoloLens will be both Xbox and PC because it shares the same architecture. There's no reason why you wouldn't have.
I haven't heard anything about it either way.
Yeah. So, and then the question, they say mixed reality. So what that means is it's a little bit of AR and a little bit of VR. So that definitely plays in the court of the HoloLens.
Now, would it be that you could do it either way also? Or like you don't necessarily have to have a VR helmet to engage?
I would assume that they're putting more emphasis on the HoloLens, and I'm sure there's some, and when the consumer HoloLens comes out, I'm sure there's going to be, let's see here. Sam Grizzle says, PC gaming has set the bar too high to justify expensive, nausea-inducing headgear. And that's a very, that is one of the issues, is that you get, what do you call it, spatial distortion? Like you don't feel you don't have that one-in-one feel.
I tried the Oculus Rift for 3 minutes and I felt carsick. I was nauseous. And that was just like a simple...
There's like a fine tune that has to be done, and they're not there yet.
That was very simple, just looking around the world. And now you're expecting me, I'm going on the deep end here, but say playing an FPS where it's, looking around, and you're expecting... I know I'm not the only one who's experienced this. You're expecting us to now play these other games? I mean, that's a big issue.
Well, one of the issues that I've heard that causes people to get motion sickness and whatnot is that a lot of the games I think don't render feet or hands. So it's very disorienting for people. Now, of course, it has to be first person. It has to be first person. There's no way. I think I would have I would experience an acid trip without ever having acid if it was a third person VR experience.
So you're saying no Smite VR?
Oh my God. No, God, no, please no. Anyway, so this is very interesting. You know, they're just posting this, looking for basically a leader to basically head up this group. Now you do have to remember that E3 is coming up in about a month, so this is, you know, probably something they're going to announce a little further. There have been speculations that this is the, what was it called, Xbox Scorpio project.
Well, Scorpio is their next iteration of the Xbox.
Correct, which has a VR component to it.
Okay.
Which could then lend into this MMO,
well, it's kind of like
social MMO.
Well, and one of the things we talked about is if VR is going to take off, Charlie's point is one, is it's not just gaming centric. It's other stuff beyond just the world gaming.
It has to be.
And the second is you have to have somebody who's willing to dive in with feet first. You know, right now you kind of see like, you know, some developers trying VR, you know, testing the waters. But who's going to be that first publisher developer to really be like, you know what, screw it. We're going all in with VR. I'm going to check it out. And somebody with the, you know, it helps to obviously have a huge financial backroll to do it. And somebody with Microsoft, they have the resources to be able to do this. And that's very important with a company like a Microsoft who, let's be honest, it very well could flop and fail. But with Microsoft, if it does flop and fail, they'll still be here 10 years from now.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Versus, you know, just a regular, everyday run-of-the-mill publisher, it could kill the entire company. So that's another advantage for Microsoft being able to do this, is they can do it and see, let's see how it goes. What's going to happen?
Well, the other thing is that Microsoft, since it's going to be an internal thing, you're going to see the they know the product inside and out. So if there's ever going to be someone, a team that's going to be able to, you know, get the most out of the system, it's going to be you would hope it's Microsoft.
So I mean, both Charlie and I, we really want VR to succeed.
Absolutely.
I just, you know, we're still a ways off, I think, from becoming the gaming thing where it's like, yeah, you get the latest VR game, yeah, bro, it's awesome.
See,
we're still ways off from that.
See, the problem is, so for those who don't know, I am a, for lack of a better term, I'm a compliance officer on my 9-to-5 job, and I mean, yes, I know this is going to be for entertainment, but for me personally, something that's going to bug me forever about VR is the accessibility outside of, you know, person with perfect vision and blah 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 blah.
Let's be realistic. Even talking about compliance, just of normal vision, how many? I mean, I wear glasses. You wear contacts.
Yep.
I mean, you look at how many of the population out there has far from 20/20 vision is a lot of us. And so how is that going to affect the overall scheme in the first place is the fact of most of us don't have perfect vision, especially for the older generations.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of unknown questions, but it's still exciting to see that there's potentially stuff down the pipeline of hopefully something fun and interesting for VR. And hopefully it's just not another Kinect where Microsoft's like, yay, let's do this great technology, and then it just kind of goes by the way.
Well, let's be honest. Kinect was, they were trying to ride on the coattails of what Nintendo was doing with the Wii.
Yes.
And so they half-assed it. And then of course, it was obvious they half-assed it because even the developers who were making games for it were just doing gimmicky things that weren't really utilizing the Kinect. There were a couple games that actually fully utilized the Kinect.
You mean hollering out, Squadron Left isn't fully utilizing the Kinect?
No, I wish it was Squadron Left. It's fire or push A.
Yeah, fire, fire, fire! That'd be really annoying.
No, it's just fire. Then you got to wait for it to reload. You can't just like rapid fire. I mean, it's still like, you know, it's still that experience of, you know, having to wait.
Yeah, I never used my Kinect for any of that.
Anyways, so yes, I you know, you're right. It is still a ways off, and I hope that we get to see something in the near future. I just don't think it's coming yet.
And hopefully the HoloLens will also be cheaper than $600.
Indeed. All right, let's move on to the next topic, and that is Nintendo is set to bring Zelda to mobile.
Oh my gosh!
So I know a lot of people don't want to hear about this, and what's a ways off? 20 years? No, it's probably, you're looking at End of 2018, 2019 would be my guess.
For this, I would guess 2019.
2019.
That's my assumption.
E3, they'll probably announce something at E3. So yeah, within a 2 or 3 year window, I would assume. Anyway, so Nintendo is set to bring Zelda to mobile. So I know that this is kind of like a sore subject for a lot of people out there, but I'm going to say it again. Nintendo is going to kill off the 3DS. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. They've been testing the waters. They've got that Fire Emblem game. They've got the Mario Run. Yeah, Mario Run game. Pokemon, of course, came out with their own game because, once again, Pokemon is not Nintendo. I mean, it's on Nintendo, but it's not Nintendo. And then Animal Crossings is coming out for the mobile soon, I believe. Let's see here. I think in my notes I've got next fiscal year, latter half of 2017, you'll have Animal Crossing on your mobile. And then, of course, the Zelda mobile game is scheduled to arrive sometime in 2018. So, I mean, Mario is one of the big heavy hitters for Nintendo, and that's already out there. Yes, it's a running game. There's not a lot of interactivity to that.
I don't know if that's real word either.
I don't know. We're just going to make it up anyways. But, you know, Zelda, I'd be very interested to see what Zelda is all about. Now, the interesting thing is this. The Mario game, from my understanding, the Mario game you had to pay to basically play.
Yeah, you did.
It was $10. But the...
Fire Emblem game, you did not.
Right. It was
free to play.
in-app purchases, though.
Yeah.
So the question is, what will Animal Crossings and Zelda, the Zelda game, be? And to answer that, there is no answer to that. Nintendo's still kicking around the idea of what has worked better for them between the two and what would work best for that type of game.
But in both cases, for both Fire Emblem and Mario, the common theme is they're both kind of dumbed down versions of what you see in the console.
Right.
So I don't think you're not going to see like Zelda Breath of Heaven or Breath of Wind, whatever it's called, on your iOS device. You're not going to see a full-fledged Zelda game. So it makes sense I think it makes sense for Nintendo to do this. You know, they're keeping their name alive. They're keeping it on their tablet here, which everybody has. So it also probably helps to keep that name recognition alive while also giving a reason to still buy the Nintendo Switch. Because it makes no sense to release the new Zelda game on a mobile platform. Because it's like, well, why am I buying the Nintendo Switch?
No, when this comes out, it would probably be exactly what the setup for, like when I had the GameCube. Okay, so you had Zelda Twilight Princess.
Okay.
Which actually didn't come out for the game. Well, it eventually did, but it was, anyways. So you have Twilight Princess for the GameCube, but at the same time you've got Zelda. Gnomish Cap or something like that, Mini Cap or whatever, which was like the mobile special Zelda.
Okay.
So I would assume that would fall. You're not going to see, you know, Skyward Sword or you know, something like that on the mobile. That would be really stupid to do. Mm-hmm. But you might get a different flavor of Zelda and more of the you know, cartoony looking Zelda, kind of like Link to the Past style of Zelda on your mobile.
And not that Nintendo actually cares about this, but not having the games on the iOS is just leaving money on the table. Mm-hmm. But obviously, that's not Nintendo's concern, because Nintendo does that a lot anyways.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, but, you know, I've been kind of calling it for a while, and I think this just added, you know, even more emphasis on the fact that Nintendo is not going to kill off the 3DS. Nintendo 3DS is currently $200. Oh, for the love of God. I'm sorry, I thought you were saying, actually, it's $199.99. The thing is that there are now games on the 3DS that have disabled the 3D feature completely. No! Because no one plays with it, because they get motion sickness, because you have to hold it at a specific angle. And then when you have to be a certain age to have the 3D effect on it. It's just, you know.
Yeah, I didn't really care about it.
Yeah,
like,
so
whatever.
Anyways.
Yeah, so it's Nintendo continuing to do what they've been doing. You know, hopefully make some money. We'll see.
Yeah. So more to come, I'm sure.
There's always more with Nintendo.
I'm going to skip over that one and come back to this one. But okay, so let's get right into Tencent, which is basically the Chinese internet juggernaut, has declared that they are going to construct an eSports themed industrial park.
Industrial park?
This park will include a gaming university, cultural and creative parks, animation industry park, creative neighborhood, cloud technology business community, and a cloud data center.
What?
There are even talks of developing an on-site theme park and holding national esports tournaments there once construction is completed.
Huh, interesting.
So basically, they're trying to do like a one-stop shop where, you know, you can create esports games there because you'll have basically all this different stuff at your fingertips, and also because all the esports stuff will be there, you can have a closed circuit where you're not going to get any ping whatsoever for all the events.
So basically, if you're an esport athlete, you never have to leave like this 5-mile radius. You can just stay
I'm sure
there.
it's going to be a little bit larger than 5 miles, but yes.
5.2-mile radius. You never have to leave.
I'm thinking more like 20-mile radius.
This 20-mile radius, you never have to leave.
Exactly. Now here's the crazy thing, okay? So they're doing this, okay? They're absolutely doing this. However, this is not the only place that they're building stuff.
There's more.
They're also working on a Honor of Kings theme park.
Ooh.
Which I'm going to be honest with you, I've never heard of Honor
Your whiteboard is clean.
Kings. Yeah, I know. Honor of Kings, I've never heard about it, but apparently there are 50 million active users since it was debuted in 2015.
What?
Yeah.
What is this game called?
Honor of Kings.
Yeah, never heard of it.
And it makes $435 million every month. Yeah, I have no idea.
I mean, a lot of your mobile games, they come from China or Korea originally.
Oh, of course.
And that's where they come, especially all your gacha games, that's where they all originate from.
Of course.
So it's not surprising there's some crazy popular game that we never heard of, or, I mean, you know very well through PS2 days of how many of those games, especially the JRPGs, have we never even seen.
Oh,
because
right.
they never made it over here.
Now the thing is that Tencent might be a familiar name for another reason.
There's more than a reason than Honor of Kings?
Yes, and that, my friends, is that they actually have the controlling. They control Riot Games.
What? Now, the one thing I have found interesting about that is one of the issues you sometimes hear is with publisher, third-party entities, when they take over a well-established other entity, is you worry about corporate interference. And basically, let's just say it nicely, ruining a already great game that people love. And it seems like, I mean, I don't play League of Legends, but for everything I've seen, it seems like Riot Games has very well been able to do what they need to do to continue to make League of Legends the powerhouse MOBA it is without, totally screwing it up, or basically making it one giant money grab and going down the route of making it insufferable in terms of what you have to do with microtransactions. So that was my first thought, and I'm sure I wasn't the only one when this Tencent company purchased out League of Legends. Like, well, crap, there goes League of Legends, because they're just gonna screw the pooch when it comes to the in-app purchases. But apparently that hasn't been the case.
I think Tencent was more interested in the fact that this would increase their footprint than trying to take creative control. From my understanding, what they've done with all the entities they've bought is they just want to see the money roll in. So if it ain't broke, they ain't gonna fix it.
So basically, they're the anti-EA.
Yes.
Okay. Which that's the first thing that came to mind. No, honestly, when Tencent
we're talking about the current iteration of EA, not the EA from like the late 80s, early 90s.
Now I'm talking about the current one where everybody did purchase. It's like, we purchased you, we give you lots of money, now you gotta do it our way, and we're probably gonna close your division in 5 years anyways.
5 years, that's being nice. 2 years. You ship your game, we're closing you down.
That should be nice.
We'll find a nice place for you though.
For a month.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, so here's something that's very interesting. So Steam trading cards. 50 cent is much better. Yeah, not 10 cent, but 50 cent. All right, so Steam trading cards. For many out there, you probably have been accumulating a shit ton of Steam cards, but have no idea what the hell they are. Well, actually, they're a fun little piece of in-Steam merchandise.
I'm sure I have some rare Steam cards.
So here's the deal. What you could do with your duplicates or all your cards is you could sell them.
Or give them to your friends.
Or you could just gift them. If you would ever gift the damn things, then I'd be more than happy to take them off your hands.
I'm sure you would.
Anyways, so what happens is you can put your Steam trade cards up for a certain amount.
Okay.
You can see what the current market value is, and you can put it anywhere up, down, or whatever.
So it's a marketplace for Steam for your cards.
Yes. And so, of course, the money that's spent to create that gets added to your Steam wallet.
Sweet.
Now, here's the problem.
Card.
It's more like 8 cents a card.
Oh. Wow.
Well, it depends on the rarity.
There's different rarities. Like
like if most common cards are probably like 7 or 9 cents.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just wait for Steam Summer Sale, then you can buy at least some games.
Exactly. Thanks, Whack Kid. But anyways, so here's the deal. Most people know that there is basically shovelware that's absolute crap that sits in Steam and no one really pays attention to it, yet it's got a place there. Well, it turns out that they're considered fake games by Steam standards. However, what ends up happening is these fake games then generate a bunch of game key codes, okay? And they put in all the key codes to bots.
Okay.
So basically, they don't have to pay anything, but the bots then, have the game, and after certain intervals of time, you unlock trading cards.
Okay.
So what's happening is you'll these fake game guys will get 1,000 game keys. Okay, then they'll load it into 1,000 idle bots.
Of this fake game?
Yes.
Okay.
So you have 1,000 bots that have collected this game, and at certain time certain time intervals, they get trading cards.
Are these bots like in cahoots with basically the creator of this fake game too?
No, the creator of the fake game made the bots.
Okay, that's yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, so here's the thing. So what's happening is these developers of a fake game are after they've unlocked all the trading cards, are going to those 1,000 bots, grabbing all the trading cards, dropping in them, and then putting them on the market. Then which they're then turning a profit. So they're actually gaining a ton of money.
So they're basically gaming the card system to put all their cards on the market. But don't people have to buy these cards for them to make money?
Yes, but the thing is that since they're the creators of the game, they can create scarcity because people are always looking for rare and random cards. So they can set the market value because no one else is going to have those cards.
Interesting.
So basically, here's to kind of go down.
Just to be clear, these cards have no intrinsic value other than their scarcity, right?
Right.
Okay.
As Steam users have long suspected, Valve has admitted that fake games, that is, slipshod games that clog up Steam, often make the bulk of their money through Steam trading cards. Valve explained that developers of these games generate thousands of Steam keys for their games and hand them off to bots that idle to unlock trading cards. Even if no real players ever see or buy one of these fake games, their developers make money by farming cards.
Wow. So
here is the they're putting in a new algorithm to make sure that that this is not going to happen again. They're going to put into effect a confidence metric, which basically means they won't allow games to drop trading cards until it is clear that the game actually has been bought and is being played by genuine users. Once the game clears that hurdle, the cards can be dropped for the user, even if they played before cards were unlockable.
Okay, what I find amused about this whole entire saga is the ingenuity that people will go to and the lengths they'll go to make a buck. Like, that's what amuses me the most about this entire story,
Mm-hmm.
is that these people figured out how to game the. And I wish I'd thought it first, let's be honest.
Right.
You know, how these people figure out, like, wait a second, there's a Steam cars that we can sell.
Mm-hmm.
If we do this, we can make tons of easy money. I mean, I can't be angry at them. I mean, like, what the hell? You know, people, if they're willing to buy the cards.
But here's the beautiful thing. Okay, so let's say that you have all your fake cards, right?
Sure.
So you're loading up your Steam wallet. You then turn around and you do like a G2A or something like that, where you have people. Yes, sir. You have people that will buy, like, I need this key. Then they basically trade. The fake guy gifts the game and then gets real cash. So you know that's the laundering system.
Man, that is. I don't know if the like mafia utilizes this seriously.
I know, seriously.
It sounds like a very efficient laundering system.
The Yakuza, man. It's all about the Yakuza.
No, Japanese special video games.
Okay.
That apparently Wackade is going to do a documentary about.
Woo! Anyways, it's very interesting. I didn't know. I mean, it kind of made sense.
I didn't know this was a thing.
I knew that there was a money market for it. I just didn't know how far or the extreme was. But interesting. So let me change gears really quick, because since we have the master, the creator himself in the audience right now, and that, of course, is Craig Campbell, he has a couple of new images to show off for his upcoming game, Capers. Now, Zealeus has been part of a long-running Capers group to make sure that, you know, all the storylines are worked out and all the kinks.
Last game tomorrow night.
Woo! So let me, since we have Craig here, I'm just going to show you. We've got 2 new images to show you. So enjoy. All right. So this one is called Capers Polly.
Nice.
And then let's see here. And then, of course, this one is Capers Elias.
Ooh, he looks sketchy.
I'm assuming that this dude's a pit boss that probably has some sort of like mind manipulation or something.
You will lose this hand.
And then, of course, this guy's got to be telekinesis. You would think. Yeah, it's got to be telekinesis.
I like it.
I like it.
It feels very era-esque. You know, I feel like I'm back in the day. I got my like little side casino. I got my pit boss watching me. Right now, if I screw up, he's going to stab me in the eye. And then looks like there's something's about to go down there.
Well, see, look at this guy in the background. He does not look happy at all. He actually looks really pissed.
But the guy who's actually using his skill, he's like, "Yeah, you want some of this?"
It's kind of just like,
he's very
I can do this. Yeah, look what I can do.
Yeah, and the chick on the left is like, "Dude, you shouldn't be doing that in public."
Like, she's concerned.
Stop.
This guy's like, "You son of a gun."
He looks like the security guard.
This guy right here?
Yeah.
I still can't figure out what this dude's all about.
He looked at the paper boy. Give me back my newspaper!
You stole something that belongs to me! Anyways, so for more information on Capers and, of course, our favorite game, Mergers and Acquisitions, you can always go to nerdburgergames.com.
And of course, Drive Through RPG, where you can purchase your Mergers and Acquisitions PDF, or go to your local Raven's Nest and purchase your hardcover Mergers and Acquisitions RPG.
Now, Craig has put this in the chat, and I just want to read it out so that those who are listening to the audio can hear this, and that is, they're currently celebrating the 1-year anniversary of a successful Mergers and Acquisitions Kickstarter. Go to nerdburgergames.com blog page for a link to get the Mergers and Acquisitions PDF for $10, which is 33% off. Discounts only available until the end of May. The Capers Kickstarter tentatively is scheduled for the first half of 2018, but stay tuned for more information about that. Now, of course, Capers and Mergers and Acquisitions both have their own backbone system. Capers deals with cards, dealing with the suits and the, what do you call them, pips?
Yeah, basically the value of the card.
Yeah. And then, of course, Mergers and Acquisitions is more of a die roll.
Die roll? Yeah, it's die.
Die roll. Yeah.
It's your classic D20 system.
6.
D6. Well, dice system.
Yeah.
You're right.
Anyways, so go to nerdburgergames.com, find out all about Mergers and Acquisitions, of course, Capers, and get your ass in gear to get the PDF for 33% off, so that you too can enjoy the amazingness that is murder.
There's always amazingness waiting to happen. And by the way, the card system for Capers, very fun system. It's a unique take on the D20, D6 system. That just adds an interesting dynamic of chance and betting that you don't get with your normal dice RPGs. So
and the beautiful thing is that these cards are your standard 54.
Yes.
So you can play
the
with the deck. The jokers are very important, okay? The jokers are very important.
Yeah,
Don't throw them away.
They can definitely change the tide of the battle, as we found out more than once.
Indeed. Yeah.
All right. We have more?
Yes, we have more. One more.
Oh, well, I missed one. Sorry.
All right, I want to say this real quick since we are giving shout outs to amazing individuals like Craig. I do want to give a shout out to Dan Jolly. He is the writer behind the Grey Widows trilogy. The first book is already out. It's called The Grey Widow's Walk. The next one, Grey Widow's Web, is about to come out on the 26th of this month, so we are literally 8 days away. You can still pre-order it. Unfortunately, we are now past the time where you can get a signed copy. So shame on you for not getting the book yet. But I'd like to say that I did pre-order the book so I could get the author's signature, as well as get the e-copy of the book as well. Because that's what I do when it comes to books.
Indeed. Are you excited? How excited are you?
I'm so excited to finally get to read this book. No bad Joker. No promises. Right. You know.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. And this is a very interesting one. Ladies and gentlemen, who actually owns the rights to DOTA?
Okay, get ready for a very confusing story, ladies and gentlemen.
You want me to go for it?
I can do it. All right, so this came out. So basically there's a court case going on where, okay, so a little backstory for those who don't know. DOTA started out as a Warcraft 3 mod. It became basically the reason people played Warcraft 3 was to play this damn mod.
Well, people played Warcraft 3 before this mod came out. It's just more people played after the mod came out because they're like, holy shit, this is actually really fucking cool.
True. And long story short, which we'll get into, is basically a bunch of the modders who basically, different modders over different time, who did this Defense of the Agents, as it's called mod, went on to work for both Valve and Riot Games.
No, Blizzard, I thought.
You're right, sorry. No, one of them did go to work for Riot. That's how League of Legends came to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You went to Riot. Okay, yeah. You're right.
But there's also the Blizzard, too. So there's multiple things. So basically, it came to court, and basically, there's a couple of publishers developers, who are trying to utilize not the Dota gameplay style. You gotta be careful here. Yeah, they're not trying to say we could create a Dota-like game because there's already 8 million knockoffs. They're trying to use the Dota name and Dota characters. Mm-hmm. That's an important distinction. And so they're trying to basically get a default judgment. And what it comes down to is one of the original developers of the mod, well, actually the original developer of the mod, back in like 2004, made a forum post that said, do I actually have the quote here?
I don't know if I have it.
I don't actually have the quote, but he said, and I don't quote, I'm paraphrasing, he said, all my work that I've done in this are now open source, and whoever wants to use this can use it going forward. He made this in the forum post. So basically this developer, it's actually a developer of Heroes Charge. It's a gacha game if you ever played it. Mm-hmm. It's like, we have the rights to this now because it's open source. So the federal judge is basically like, no, you're wrong. And actually this judge was very well informed. He wrote a summary, basically be like, yo, people, you're wrong. So it's kind of a summary. Let's see here.
So basically what they're trying to say is that no one can singularly own the rights to Dota because there's so many different flavors of it, and it was a collective effort with many different modders coming together.
So the guy who originally created it, he goes, and the funny thing is, to me at least, the judge actually uses their online handle, not the real names, because the handle is what they're known by. So the original Warcraft 3 mod was made by a game named Yule. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. It's E-U-L.
Yep.
From there, it was then passed off to another version called Dota All-Stars to basically take the best parts of the original Dota, and then a modder going by the name of Ginsu took over that branch.
and then it was handed over
and then
to
it was held to Ice Frog. And then, so he went on, and then Ice Frog went on to work for Heroes of New Earth, which is basically, it was one of the very first Dota games that was not an actual clone, or it's not a mod, but nobody liked it. And then he was actually hired by Valve, and he sold his rights to Valve for Dota 2 for a handsome price.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other thing to keep in mind that's important is Ginsu, remember the guy who was handed off to for Dota All-Stars, was hired by Riot to create their League of Legends, and Riot bought Ginsu's claim to the Dota copyright, and then that was sold to Blizzard. And then Blizzard and Valve then came to an agreement to basically say, like, hey, let's settle off courts. We don't go suing each other for the next decade, or actually, let's be honest, mobiles will be around for longer than a decade, over who owns what.
So, but basically what they did is, in the settlement that happened in 2012, Valve would retain the rights to the name for the standalone games like Dota 2, while Blizzard could use it to refer to Warcraft and StarCraft mods specifically, which then led to Blizzard Dota, which then became Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah. And here's the thing where, sometimes when it comes to these games and you hear of developers maybe stealing somebody's IP or idea for his game. In this case, I agree with this because both Valve, let's be honest, if they wanted to, both Valve and Blizzard could have pretty much stolen the idea for the mods, and they have so much money that could have gone to court forever and basically bankrupted these guys, and nothing would have came of it. But they compensated the original creators of these mods, and I'm sure they're been paid very handsomely over the years for selling their rights. So, I think both Valve and Blizzard did their due diligence in terms of, buying these rights to these mods that they probably really didn't have to do in the first place. The other interesting thing about this that I'm kind of curious of is the original EULA for World of Warcraft 3 states that mods used while creating this game cannot be used for financial gain or basically create derivatives of that for games, is what the original EULA for it says.
Well, technically, they didn't use it for game. They got notoriety out of it, and then were able to basically guinea pig off and refine some of that stuff, because you couldn't actually play a MOBA in Warcraft 3. Yeah, Warcraft 3 or StarCraft. But so yeah, I understand that. But I just wanted, this is the quote that I was looking for here. So basically, there's one of the users, one of the mobile developers, Ucool, tried to argue that Dota All-Stars is a collective work because it took the most popular Dota heroes and arranged them into a new game. The judge, this is the great part, the judge rejected that argument, saying that by that logic, Star Wars The Force Awakens would be a collective work because it arranged the most popular Star Wars heroes, settings, and one-liners into a new movie.
What I really like is, some of these cases that you hear of, especially, let's be honest, from Congress, where they want to do whatever with net neutrality or anything, they obviously don't have a damn clue about technology. Whereas this judge has obviously done his work, he understands what's going on, and it's like, okay, it's at least he understands it. Now, the important thing to keep in mind is what this means is this is all basic, unless there's a settlement that happens in the meantime, which is always a very strong possibility, is this is now meaning, because basically he didn't default against Blizzard or Valve in this case, is it's now going to court. Which would be very interesting because, now you're going to have a set of potentially 12 random jurors, and how well are, random Joe off the street going to understand the nuances of this and be able to get it. I would not be shocked at all in the least if this settlement comes out in the meantime, because these cases rarely go to court.
No, to be honest with you, because of the amount of muscle that Valve and Blizzard have, they could bury these dudes in litigation.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Counter suits and stuff like that.
Yes.
These guys need to run.
And that's why I was kind of happy that they bought the rights from the original developers of the mods, because same thing with those. They could have buried them in so much, court cases where they would have never seen a dime or whatever.
Well, the other thing
but
is
they
that
recognize their talents.
Yes, but they also pulled these individuals in. It's not like they
True.
they smacked him down and made him disappear, and then they stole their crap.
It's like, here's $10 for your work. Thanks, man. No, they I mean,
well,
let's
it's
be
like
honest.
John Madden's deal for his name. What was it like what was the price he paid? Like
It wasn't much.
it was like $800, and now it's like $1 billion franchise. He didn't get any royalties whatsoever.
Yeah, and it's the one who went on. Who was it? Went on to do League of Legends was Ginsu. I mean, he's basically one of the people that helped make League of Legends what it is. So it also obviously greatly benefited both Valve. It greatly benefited Valve, Blizzard, and Riot to bring in these guys who obviously knew the nuances of the game and what made it so popular in the first place.
They were literally the architects. So, and they got they did their due diligence. So these guys trying to come in and yes, they're the original guy did in 2004 had a forum post granting open source, and then of course
and that's of course the question too for the courses side is because nowadays you have very codified, like the Apache license, you got the Debian license, you have these very official open source licenses, or the common, what is it?
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's Alice in Wonderland.
I keep on thinking Common Sense Media because that's what we used at school.
No, it's like common content, common use license.
No. But it's these very official licenses that you can use to make your work open source.
Right.
But now, but just saying on a forum, okay, my work is open source. How, I guess, in the eyes of the law, in terms of billions of dollars, how official is that for making your work open source? And another question too is, when you say open source, what is that? In this case, because it was very generic. You can use any of my stuff to be open source. Does that mean the code? Does it mean the characters? Does it mean the idea behind the game? What exactly is open source now?
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see. Again, I would be very surprised if this goes to court and they just don't settle and whatever. Creative Commons. That's what it is.
Okay.
It's Creative Commons license.
There you go. So it'll be very interesting. Something tells me that if Valve and Blizzard and maybe even Riot, I mean Riot doesn't own any of the rights anymore, I don't think, but still, these guys could bury these developers pretty dang fast.
Yeah.
And what is it? The one that you really love. What was that? The other mobile game?
Oh, Heroes Charge.
Yeah. I'm sure that you would just be heartbroken if Heroes Charge were to go away.
That'd be terrible. That was actually one of the very first games I played on the iOS device, which was a while ago now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the next topic. And the next topic is, should esports coaching be allowed? Now, let me preface this, okay? Maybe we'll go across all esports, which is a little bit dangerous, but there has become a huge issue, and a lot of esports pros that are asking for coaching to be banned. You're not allowed to have a coach.
Okay.
Because what a coach can do is the coach is basically linked into the team or the player and can give advice or strategy updates.
You're talking during the actual game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So for like MOBAs, you have a coach there that's talking, to the teammates, make sure everyone's on the same page, like for Smite, we're at the 10-minute mark.
Yeah.
Where are we sitting? Can we do the Gold Fury? Where about the wards? All that stuff. The problem is that kind of makes sense. Okay, you want to have someone who's not completely locked into the game that can kind of
so far I'm kind of like okay.
make sure that people are communicating.
I'm sure there's always a catch though.
But what about if you're playing Smash Brothers or Street Fighter? You have an individual who's not engaged in the game that can whisper in the player's ear to say, "Hey, by the way, this dude is not doing this. You need to compensate to do that." So now you're basically playing 1.5 people, but of course the same thing goes for the other side. But the question is, there's absolutely a ton of people out there who do these fighting games, the 1v1 games that don't have coaches. So allowing coaches to enter the fray, or not disallowing them, gives the opponent an advantage, because you've got a second set of eyes.
Well, here's the first thing that comes to mind is let's take the sports analogy. Let's take a team sport like, let's just say basketball, where the coach can give the team coaching anytime he wants. We don't have to scream across the court, but whatever, he can give the coaching.
Yeah.
And to me, that's kind of like a smite. You know, you can talk into your teammates, players, and tell them what's going on. Versus, let's just take a single-player game like Super Smash Brothers. Is I think the closest sports analogy is tennis, where it's a big deal. You cannot get coaching during a tennis match.
Right.
Like, I mean, if your opponent in tennis thinks you're getting coaching, oh, it's bad news.
Well, I mean, you to go back with like football.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say that because one of the things about football is that one player on the offense and the defense is mic'd. They're getting information from the sideline.
Yep.
But let's say that, and what happens is, as soon as the ball is hiked, or I think it's within 10 seconds of the clock running out, the mic gets muted. But let's say the mic stays active. So
Which
now
I'm sure
you
has
got
happened.
Yeah, right. But let's say that you got someone who's sitting up above who can see a lot more, and you can then radio down to someone. You got to go to your left. You got to go to your left, and so that they can, So now you got an advantage. So
I just my initial thought.
Yeah.
I really don't have a problem with coaching, as long as, and this is a big issue in esports in general. There's like a guideline behind what can a coach can and cannot do, and that's part of the issues. The regulation in esports in general is, like you said, can they speak into one player? Can there be like the mic? The quarterback, let's be honest, if NFL, is there one player to talk
quarterback or middle linebacker.
Can they talk to all 5 players? Is it, can it only be the first minute of a MOBA? What are the rules and regulations? I think that's a big thing. I think it's as long as it's on an even playing field and everybody has to follow the same rules.
Well, I think, okay, so for like a MOBA, the thing that for Smite, at least, that differentiates itself from like a Super Smash Brothers is Super Smash Brothers all in one screen.
Sure.
Okay? Where you have MOBAs where there's a lot of strategy and you've got 2 sides and whatever. The coach can only see his team. He can't, be a spectator and then see where the other team is.
That's
so
what I was trying to think. It's like, so it takes Smite. How would the coach be able to see what's going on? Do you just like have to go between like his 5 players and see?
He's sitting directly behind them.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what all he could see. They usually have a notebook that they're jotting down stuff constantly. So I'm assuming that he's probably just keeping a tally of.
Honestly, I don't like the idea. The more I think about it, during an actual match, I just don't like the idea of coaches. I think in esports,
if the coach can only hear, not see anything.
Okay, if the coach can hear and then in between games be like, "Yo, you guys missed this Gold Fury at 2:30," then I'm like, okay with in between games. But during a game.
Well, I think if they're only allowed to listen in and then give information that they hear or suggestions or whatever, but they're not allowed to see anything, then maybe they're not really saying you need to take this or that. Maybe it's more of a, hey, we're at the 15-minute mark, kind of like a one of your 15 different alarms for you to do something, a reminder list type of deal. Sam Grizzle says no coaching during play, other than a basketball coach. When does that happen?
Hockey. There's a lot of coaching in hockey during the game.
Well, yeah, and then of course you can relay information on line shifts. But it's not like the coach does not have a direct line to the goalie or someone. He's still got to be screaming.
Yeah.
And technically, the football coaches can be screaming. It's just a lot harder to scream across that long of a thing.
Yeah. I don't like the idea of coaching during the middle of the game. It's just, the players are on the field or on the keyboard. Let them play the game.
Well, the other thing is that, like in basketball and in any sport, when the action is really going, you're not getting a lot of information. Like basketball, they might call the play, or say, watch this guy, but it's not like they're constantly running down the sideline with their whiteboard going, you need to do this. Look at what this guy's doing here. Because it's fast past.
Until you see some of the coaches and they get pissed off in the call and they're like at mid-court while game is still happening.
And that is a technical. Let's see here. Sam Grizzle says, I've never liked the third base coach in baseball. Let the player decide if it's safe to run home. So I I could see what you're saying, but that.
Yeah, the more I think about it, I'm on the side of no coaching during a game. I just, let the players do, probably more than likely.
Between plays.
Between
or
plays is fine.
timeouts, then.
Most teams probably have kind of a natural leader anyways. Like one of those 5.
They're called captains.
Yeah, you already have the on-team captain.
Yeah.
And you're talking 5 players on a team. It's not like football, we have 11 players, or basketball, you have a rotating bench of 11 players. I know most of them don't use 11 players, but whatever.
Probably more like 8.
Yeah, I know. So I don't think esports needs a coach. I obviously coach outside of the actual gameplay is fine. During coach,
for like training.
Yeah, during training or in between matches is fine, whatever. But during a match, just let the players play. I'm with Sam on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very interesting. I didn't even think about.
I know.
The tactical advantage one would have if in like a fighting game scenario, where you've got a second pair of eyes that sees everything and more than you do because you have to focus exactly what your opponent is doing. This person can then take in the entire field and give pointers or suggestions that could completely change the outcome of the game mid-match.
See, the thing with a fighting game is they can only really give tips so much as I see that this opponent hasn't been doing this consistently. They can't give you a tip like, dude, you missed your left block now. They can't do that. Whereas in a MOBA, I think the coaching actually can be more important because you can give those split-second actions much easier to be like, dude, you're being like, they could give an instruction like, hey, Charlie, you're being flanked from your left because I saw it on John's screen.
Well, the coaches for Smite, the coach is situated with their back towards the opponent, so they cannot see the opponent's screen.
Now, here's what I mean is, so both of us are on a team, right?
Yeah.
And the coach is watching our screens. Mm-hmm. He could see potential on your screen that I'm being flanked. Mm. And call out to me, John, you're being flanked because he saw it on your screen. Mm. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas you should be the one calling that out, I think, not a coach.
Right. So an interesting little twist to this story is that I'm currently trying to get a hold of some of the lead people for esports for Smite because I have questions like this that I'd love to get answered.
That's a good question.
What exactly does I know that they've got coaches. I know they sit back there and they talk on the comms, but once the action starts, you basically see the in-game spectator thing. You don't constantly see the coaches sitting there.
Well, I think for a spectator thing, that's a big thing too, because as MOBs become more of a thing, is I think really more than most. Well, not most. It's up there with other sports like, let's say, basketball and tennis, where you see the guys, because they don't wear helmets, they're there.
Yep.
You can really get to know those personalities within the esports. Mm-hmm. And do we really need to get to know the coach, too, in your esport?
Right.
And I think part of it is the marketing aspect, too. What are we marketing? Are we marketing the guy who is saying there's an esports athlete, or do we really need to go market the coach, too? That doesn't sound very exciting.
Right.
So I think there's that point, too, where it's like, why do we need to include so? Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'll try to find out more information for us, but I'm leaning more towards I think in very special situations, it really depends on the amount of power that the coach has, like what he can see, what he can do, what he can't do, when he can do stuff, and when he doesn't do stuff. But for fighting, I think it's just absolutely ridiculous to have someone because the coach could literally be watching how fast your Twitch skills are and go, look. He doesn't do very well when he does this combo, so make sure that you force him to do this combo. Or when you see it, you can block it or do like a reverse or something.
How'd you like to be able to call a timeout in the middle of a Smite match?
That happens.
And pause.
That happens.
But like for an actual like coaching session.
Oh no.
That's what I mean.
No, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
No,
I know it happens because sometimes there's like errors or something or whatever. But for like 30-second timeout on the field for.
No. All right, so move on to the next story, and this one I'm going to let Zealeus take the.
Well, we're getting close, so I can do that anyway.
All right, well we'll come back to that one. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us. Actually, it's not. Well, we're one of the people who get the chance to be streaming at Battle and Brew. Battle and Brew, of course, is an 18-plus gamers bar here in Atlanta, Georgia, specifically in Sandy Springs, right off of Roswell Road.
It's very close.
Right off the Roswell Road 285 exit.
Indeed.
If you're in Atlanta, you have to go here.
You have to. If you haven't, YK47, I'm looking at you.
We're going to take them there.
Yes.
Don't worry about it. So Battle and Brew, phenomenal place, loaded bar, wonderful food, has a bunch of PC stations set up, has a laundry list of games you can play. Also has a bunch of TVs with consoles that you can rent to play. It's very, everything is like really well priced. It's really good. So anyways, Battle and Brew, definitely go there. We love them. And of course, from time to time, we are the featured stream. So more hollers to them.
Indeed.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk Patreon. Patreon is basically a service that allows you, the fans, the audience, the friends of us, everything, to give back to basically help Altered Confusion with donations. Patreon is a monthly donation system, so every single month you donate X amount. You basically pledge, I will give you $3 every single month. And every single month you get a the person who's running the Patreon, myself, or Altered Confusion really, they get that money and then it goes in. So long story short, before I completely go off a tangent, Altered Confusion would love your help and support. Now, I know that not everyone can do a financial pledge. I know that some people do not feel safe about doing a monthly pledge, would rather do a one-time pledge. Of course, you can go click on the Donate Us button, and that Donate Us button is now correctly connected to the Altered Confusion Gmail account. But if you do not feel safe with either of those, we also have an Amazon wish list, which I posted in the newsletter. If you are not currently subscribed to the newsletter, please go to our webpage, www.alteredconfusion.com. Click on the Contact Us link, and I will add you. And then hopefully in the very, very near future, I will add a dang button that will just allow you to sign up directly for that newsletter. But basically, Patreon allows us to kind of soften the blow financially of Altered Confusion, be it for hotel stays, for travel, for convention tickets, for electricity, which I need to find out exactly where our table is so I can pay for the electricity for MomoCon. And then, of course, if we get enough money, we can then do like contest and swag and
buy more Altered Confusion shirts.
More Altered Confusion shirts.
Mine's getting kind of tattery.
Yeah, here's the deal. Altered Confusion has been around since 2007. It has been run out of my pocket exclusively, and I'm going to ballpark it and say that $20,000 has gone into Altered Confusion over the years, with about $200 coming back. So Altered Confusion has basically been my baby for 10 years. And Altered Confusion we're having to do an evolution or a change, simply because I can't keep this pace up of the expenditures and all that stuff. So if you can help us in any way, if you want to be a reviewer, if you want to do some like audio stuff for us, if you want to do some design for us, if you want to do whatever, thank you, Wet Kid.
Thank you, Wet Kid. We love you.
If you want to help us out in any way possible, it would be phenomenal. Altered Confusion loves you all. And of course, the more we can get in pledges or, wish list gifts, the more we can then give back to you, the audience, the fans. I know that a lot of people are, and it has nothing to do with my Mountain Dew. It's not, that money's not going to touch Mountain Dew, just in case.
But the diet version.
Whatever. I know a lot of people are very interested about the status update of our audio mixer. After jumping through about 50 million hoops, I finally convinced the manufacturer to allow me to send the device in for a defect analysis, and hopefully, unfortunately, we're not going to have it for MomoCon, but hopefully after MomoCon we'll have it, and we'll be able to go back to the lapel mic so that the audio quality will be greatly improved.
Makes me feel warm and fuzzy too on my chest.
Yes. So anyways, like I said, we at Altered Confusion, we're doing this because we want to open up a dialogue with you, the audience.
We love talking about video games, obviously.
We want to know your opinion. We want to know what you want to talk about so we can talk about it. So,
even if it isn't video games, if anything in the geeky, nerdy realm, we are well versed in the world of geeks. So
with that being said, Alter Confusion has a couple changes coming down the line. One, of course, you've probably already noticed, but there's been a lack of updates to the website other than the videos. And that is because I have not had that much time past like Thursday night hangouts and stuff to do stuff. Yes, I know I'm streaming games. Here's the deal. I have been dealing with a medical issue for a bit, and so I have not had the ability or energy to do all that I want to with Alter Confusion. It might be, just the 10-year hit of doing Alter Confusion, but what you will see going forward for Alter Confusion is more of a... Here's the deal. You've probably heard about a panel we did calling, so you finish making your indie game, you think you're done. Which then you could change to, so you finish making your indie project and you think you're done. And if only I actually paid attention to that advice, we'd probably be in a much, much better place. The thing is, Alter Confusion is a place to alter your game in confusion. Now, of course, we started off as a AAA title AAA title reviewer, and that, of course, didn't work because there's about 30 bajillion of those out there. We then have been focusing on indie games, reviewing those. To be totally honest with you, it is. I love helping out indie creators, but the fact of the matter is, I don't even think anyone's actually gives a shit about the reviews. I think that the biggest component that we do is actually doing the interviews with the developers, the creators of those projects, because then it can, the creator can then, push out all the information as they want to. I'm not saying that we're going to stop doing reviews. What I'm saying is that we are going to review, or I'm going to review games when I want to review games. You're going to see a little bit of a change with alterconfusion.com, and that being that I'm going to, as tough as it is for me, I'm going to start putting my opinion in the actual thing. I'm not going to try to just regurgitate press releases and try to make it our own. You're going to see some of these topics that we've had on Thursday Night Hangouts actually be written pieces on the website, and then I want to have. I think that's probably, when we do these, we get a very good dialogue going on, and then when we meet individuals, we have these amazing dialogues at conventions. So I want to do that. I don't want to just regurgitate an email about something that the vast majority of people don't give a shit about. Now, I'm not trying to be a dick about some of the amazing stuff that's coming out, but the vast majority of the time, people want to talk about what's a fun game? Go. And, I can't be like, so there was this game that sounds kind of cool, it's for blah, 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 blah. I want to be able to have a better dialogue. And I think the way to have a better dialogue is to focus on altering your game in confusion and not, Alter Confusion is my hobby. It's my love. It's my passion. I want to be happy and excited to do that.
Happy.
And I'm going to be totally honest with you. For the past year and a half, I have been anything but happy. This has been a job. It's not been something that I love. It's been to the point where I don't want to stop doing what I'm doing because I don't want to see it as a failure. Alter Confusion is not a failure. It's just that what is the thing? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And to be honest with you, that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to do all this stuff, and it really hasn't changed. And it's not because of you, the audience. I'm actually very thrilled that y'all have kept with us.
We love the audience.
We've gained people, but the vast majority of the world isn't going to Alter Confusion to find out news about indie creators or indie game reviews. But I'm still going to review games. It's just going to be a much slower pace. But I'm going
to still play video games.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
Not changing.
But you're going to see that there's going to be more emphasis on stuff that I actually want to do. Because Alter Confusion is my baby. I can do whatever the fuck I want to do with it. And it's taken me this long for me to actually understand that you're coming to Alter Confusion for us, for our opinions, our views. And so that's what you're going to get. going forward. So
we'd love to give our opinions too. So yes,
you're going to get the actual Ultra Confusion flavor, not some as you've seen in the last couple Thursday night hangouts. We've been doing some really great topics that don't specifically have to do with indie games. Now, of course, some of them can be related to it, but the vast majority of it is for conversation purposes only. So you're going to see some changes. I love Ultra Confusion. I love video games. I love talking to you. So that's where the emphasis is going to be. And maybe, just maybe, there might be something else coming down the pipeline for Ultra Confusion, but I can't talk about it right now.
Hawkeye Steve coming back.
I said I can't talk about it right now.
I'm just saying. I'm saying it for you. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it.
We'll see. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we have unfortunately reached the end of our show because I once again rambled on. But I did
that is part of the Ultra Confusion charm.
Yeah, I did want to get this out because it's been bugging me, and it's one of these things that that I want you to know that this is what's going to happen. I'm going to go to MomoCon. I am going to be doing a shit ton of interviews. I'm going to be talking up all about video games, independent projects, because the fact of the matter is, even if I'm not covering every single one, I can still spread the love and support for independently created projects because they are awesome.
Well, even over the past, I would say probably 2 years, we've actually talked probably a lot more about indie projects.
Right.
Like, just that we talked about Gray's, I should know the name.
Grey Widow.
Grey Widow. We talked a lot about, Craig Campbell's projects. We've talked about Eddie Webb's project. We've talked about, all these different
James
great
Simpson's project.
We should give a quick shout out to, I know usually you're the one to go over, is Eddie Webb, his new Kickstarter, something of Mao.
Yeah.
What is the first?
I can't remember what the first.
But his Kickstarter, so he came out with Pugmire
Yep.
earlier this year, and within right around an hour, he broke his Kickstarter goal of whatever it was. So Kingdom of Mao, whatever it's called, basically it's Pugmire, but with cats.
Yeah. Which of course means Zealeus Zarian.
Yes.
Now,
it already broke his Kickstarter, but check it out.
All right, White Kid's already let the bird out of the bag, or the dog out of the bag, whatever. Next week's Thursday Night Hangout might be on location at the Georgia Congress Center, live at MomoCon.
If it's gonna be there, if I'm gonna do it, it has to be earlier.
It might.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna be there all day on Thursday, so
I can't be at the Congress Center until 9:30.
I'll be there all day.
Okay.
I'll be at the table all day.
I still have to work Friday.
I know you do. Anyways, we'll figure, if we can do this, then we're gonna figure out the logistics. At the bare minimum, we're gonna do, Whack Kid's gonna help us with a live stream of our panel on Friday. Charlie needs a purple goat costume. Okay. Or Whack Kid could just replace you. There is one other thing I want to ask real quick. I know that we're going over time, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, Ultra Confusion, of course, wants your help with donations or whatever, but we do understand that sometimes you want a little bit in return. So we are going to ask you, which is a very dangerous question, request is, what would you like for Ultra Confusion to do, or whatever that you would donate to? Like, I know right after Christmas, we did the shave Charlie's goatee off, and we made like $200 or $150 off that. So if there's something like that we could do, I'd rather not shave my goatee off again, but if that's going to rack in some big money, then maybe. Give us something. Maybe we got to wear, like, I don't know, crazy wigs or something to a Thursday Night Hangout or whatever. Come up with some ideas.
I can wear my TARDIS cosplay.
Come up with some ideas. We'll vet them and make sure they're cool, and then we'll just go from there. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure to give you everything coming out of our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next week somewhere for the Thursday Night Hangout. Definitely sign up for that newsletter. If you haven't signed up already, sign up for it. Of course, once again, you can go to the Contact Us page at www.ultraconfusion.com, and we can put you on the list. And then, of course, I will quickly make a subscription button so that you can actually do this. And real quick, you can catch us on Facebook at Ultra Confusion, Twitter, AlterConfuseEO. That's AlterConfusion without the N because the N.
We blow up the internet.
You can catch all of our videos on YouTube at AlterConfusion LLC. And of course, we've already told you, Patreon is AlterConfusion. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you somewhere next Thursday.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.